So this is what's happening to everyone in the United States right now, is that we're being shot in the head with an invisible stream of radio frequency that most of the time you can't feel. You'll just notice that you're being hit in the head with it. So what happens when you're hit in the head with this is, I just woke up, it's first thing in the morning, I still feel tired, and you just don't think as clearly or operate as well as you normally would. So you hear how strong this blast is. In addition to that, I'm being shocked in the genitals and hit in the body and just essentially harmed with this as well. So there's an element of this being shot at my head, shot at my brain this morning. And then there's another part of it that's being shot at my body and my genitals. What I can guarantee is that this is happening to me every single day. 24 hours a day I'm shot with this stream of radio frequency. The United States is torturing its own citizens, and this is how they're doing it. This activity is happening on every single one of these channels on this shortwave radio. And this happens every single day. I reported this to the FCC. They don't say anything about it. I've reported this to the FBI. They don't say anything about it. Reported this to the police. They don't say anything about it. So I'm being tortured in the United States. This is a controlled, protected airspace where they give out citations and fines to people if you transmit without a license. So they're watching the radio frequency occurring in the United States 24 hours a day, and this is still happening. So inside of this is a message of fray effect. So they're trying to hurt me now, even more. This is cell towers, probably satellites and drones also. So the FCC is in on this, the Air Force is in on this, the CIA, the FBI. And people like myself are just irradiated like this every single day. So they're pulsing my lower body with a different pulse rate, as you can hear. Extremely, extremely strong. That's going to be a satellite, a drone, or a cell tower. So the United States Air Force is unfortunately complicit in this torture also, as is the Space Force. super strong value. That's happening on every single channel here. You hear those big strong ripples? That's a huge spike wave of radio frequency being shot into my body here while I'm in bed. So this is how I'm woken up every single day, is I'm tortured and pulsed with this horrible blast of radio frequency that's being shot continuously at my body. So they're shooting me in the lower body and the genitals with this, and also shooting me in the head with this. And I'm laying in bed. So there's that constant stream, and blocking this, my eyes feel better, my vision just cleared. I feel like less exhausted, and you hear this. That's at the tempo I would be being communicated to. So that's AI, like voice bot, talking to me 24 hours a day. Talk to me all hours of night last night, and here it is again, just being shot directly into the top of my head as a form of terrorism and torture. So this is a weapon of war that was perfected in multiple branches of the military, and now it's being used on American citizens as an act of war, as treason, as torture, as terrorism against United States citizens. So this is constantly being pulsed into my head here, first thing in the morning. So I'm not moving this radio around, this is just sitting still, and that incoming fluctuation is the transcranial stimulation that's being shot at my head and has been shot at my head every single day since this started. So 10 plus years of this constant bullshit happening, and our corrupt fucking country covering up for this, not truly investigating this, hiring millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of employees that are supposed to take oaths to protect the public, but you don't see them ever do that. We've even got a committee against the weaponization of federal government, and not a single one of those frauds ever talks about this. Stop tiptoeing around the topic and fucking do something. Because I know for a fact what's happening. And then I take time out of my day to teach you all what's happening. Because how the fuck would you know this is happening? You won't. That's the whole point of this project, this program, is to blast people in the head with this shit. And unless you have a little radio over your head, you're not going to know what's happening. So not hearing any VTK right now. I'm blocking all of it. So this is a daily war crime. This is a daily act of treason. And once again, every single one of our enforcement agencies is not touching this shit with the 10-foot pole. Why? Because this is a United States funded treason. This is a United States funded act of torture. This is global terrorism that the United States is 100% orchestrating. Okay, they're centralizing it. I'm 100% positive of that. If you don't want to believe it, then you can go ahead and bury your head in the sand. But this is what's happening. I am 100% positive of it. And I am not the only person communicating this topic at this point. This is what our country does. They're shooting people in the head with this energy. This is not fucking China. This is not even a low frequency. This is a high frequency, constant dew assault this morning. So megahertz is high frequency in comparison. Okay? That's getting into the high frequency range. So this is low megahertz and gigahertz activity this morning. It's being shot into my head. So with these radio antennas crossed, they're picking up this incoming beam of drone, satellite, and cell tower activity. And I'm feeling some relief with this over my head. When you're being tortured like this, all you want to do is protect yourself, okay? Had I just started the video like this, you'd have no idea that I'm going through this this morning and every fucking morning. And it's not always at the same power level. Some days it's 100 times worse than others. Some days it's tuned to the point where it's they're trying to hurt you with it more than anything. And today, they're trying to make a discrete impact and discrete change on my life, and they're influencing every single thing I say and do. So, like, when I'm picking my words for my sentence, for example, they are trying to pulse me in the head and essentially change what words I use for descriptive words. Now, when I put these back over my head, my ability to communicate just feels more natural. It feels like I'm not having additional adjectives thrown into my sentence creation. So, like, imagine, like right now, for example, even my speech is kind of like slow or not natural. So that's because my brain is literally being pulsed with energy. My brain's being pulsed with energy, influencing my central nervous system, essentially, just like that last video I posted. So my central nervous system is being affected to the point where my health is being degraded, and then also it's kind of difficult to choose your words at times. So that's all happening in addition to being pulsed with this horrible value of directed energy. It's being shot in the top of my head repeatedly. And I am clearly still in bed here. And this is happening from the very, very beginning of the day. And going on and on and on and on and on. So my phone's in airplane mode. My Wi-Fi unit in the house is off. So this is all outside radio frequency being shot into the house. So that was one of the tests that my building biologist would do, is he would turn off all of the signal that we have control of to make it proof that what's happening is uncontrollable. It's an uncontrolled environment where outside radio frequency is being shot into the house at a harmful level. And that's, again, what's happening here. So I'm all the way in a different location now from my house where I had my building biologist come out, and this activity is following me. So here's proof of what happens for a targeted individual, is every single day you're pulsed with these horrible pulsing values. And I theorize it is not just because we have nano essentially infecting our central nervous system. It's not just nano, because this is not a low brain state like frequency. This is not a low hertz frequency that's impacting my brain state. What this is a higher megahertz to gigahertz frequency that is being, what's the best way to put it? It's being pulsed at an oscillation rate that is causing an impact on my brain state. In addition to that, it's creating a problem with my brain state just from this strong value being repeatedly pulsed at it. So the rate at which it's being pulsed, it creates a problem. The values being pulsed creates a problem. The frequency it's at creates a problem. There is no accident about this. This is why regular people or random people aren't walking around feeling this, because this is not a fucking accident. This is not just like, oh, well, all these series of things just happen to line up today and now I feel it. No, that is not what's happening. This is done very fucking carefully on purpose as a weapon to myself and thousands of other Americans, and then even more people globally. Okay? So the fact that we're picking this up, this is in shortwave 4, which is 6.9 megahertz to 7.4 megahertz. So that activity, you're not supposed to have jack shit there. And then if I go lower to 5.9 to 6.4 megahertz, you still hear that activity. So we're being 100% bombarded by very dangerous values of radio frequency this morning. And it's to the point where I'm going to have to stop this video and go have forced diarrhea, essentially. Because that's what happens, is your entire body is controlled by your central nervous system, by the small values plus or minus 70 millivolts that run through your body. So, like, for example, you hear this, so there's just a harmful field being transmitted in the house. And then in addition to that, there's ripples or pulses that have that message, and then that additional transcranial stimulation in it. So directly overhead here, walking around, you see it's following you. There's not just a beam or a field that was being shot into the bed here. So it follows you everywhere you go. So again here, you see me walking around for the sake of science, and it's following me. You see this stream of signal here, and now again I am not hearing any VTK because I am blocking this incoming VTK signal. So I'm walking, and the entire time we're blocking this incoming signal, and it's being shot in the top of my head via satellite and or drone. So now when I leave my house, there's cell tower after cell tower after cell tower. that satellite of that drone is going to retransmit this data to whatever I drive past, to the point where I get shot in the top of the head, and then the cell tower hits me on the sides of the head as I'm driving by, because that's how this communications infrastructure works. So here's more proof that I'm being shot in the head constantly. There's not a second of this video where this sound is not happening, and that's because this doesn't stop. This happens the entire time. And let me do something, just for the sake of science. If I take those radios out of my hand, if I silence those radios, can you tell that the same thing is still happening to me? No, you fucking can't. And that's exactly why this is such a dangerous technology that's being used to create chaos in communities, is because you have no fucking clue that this is still happening to me. Okay? If I'm not holding this over my head, you would have no idea it's happening to me. If you didn't pay such close attention to all of the shit I've been saying, then you would have no idea still what the fuck is happening to me. You'd say, why is this guy holding radios over his head? Well, it's because we're being fucking deliberately irradiated daily, continuously, every minute of the day with harmful values of megahertz, gigahertz, and lower radio frequencies as well. But this megahertz, gigahertz is truly what is causing a great, great, great deal of harm. It's not the only thing causing harm, but it is a constant stream of transcranial stimulation being shot into our heads. Well, my head, I can only speak for myself here, because it's kind of hard to hold radios over your friend's head every single day to test and see if they're also being hit. So I'm going to speak for myself. I'm being hit 24 hours a day with this, okay? It fluctuates. It varies. A lot of the time, it's not a 10 out of 10 intensity of attack, but this morning, it's pretty fucking bad. I'm going to be so honest. It's pretty fucking bad this morning. And is there a correlation to me making my first YouTube video in a little while and this? Yes, there is. These people are trying to attack me to the point where I speak out. They watch me the entire time I make a video, and then they attack me and essentially attempt to punish me without involving the United States court system, so illegally punish me for doing the right thing, for speaking out, for telling the truth. And that chemist that made that injectable nano shot that goes into our central nervous system and hijacks it, essentially. That chemist, in my last video that I'm talking about, that video is exactly what's happening to us. That's an extremely important element of this. I was targeted prior to being vaccinated, but at the same time, the technology paints the picture that that's all the same type of deal. So I'm just waking up, I'm getting pulse in the brain, so if this doesn't sound like a Harvard thesis, then give me a little bit of slack. But it is 100% occurring. And you see, when it was just sitting at the table, you didn't hear this activity. Directly overhead, I'm being pulsed in the head repeatedly, to the point where it's being done to mess with my thought process, mess with my brain, and then they attack me the entire morning. They harass me psychologically. They try to bring as much psychological distress as possible while pulsing me in the head daily, or 24 hours a day with this. So this is truly like MK Ultra and torture. The people that are employed in this system are the most evil people on the planet. They deserve to be in prison for life.